Donald Trump today began day one of what amounts to a kangaroo court. It is a joke. It is beyond a joke. It is an embarrassment to our country, an embarrassment to our system of justice. It is without, with no exaggeration, so obviously based on contempt and hate. And they're going to blame him because his tweets or social, truth social, whatever, nonsense. Now, I'm going to give you a breakdown of what happened today. And I want to tell you something, and I want you to understand what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to tell you exactly the way it is. Now, I may say something that you might like or not like. We're talking about a trial. We're not talking about an election. We're not talking about what would benefit him in the polls or what would help him in swing states. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a criminal charge, a criminal case, a criminal matter. And that is what I want you to grasp. So when I speak tonight of this, and when I speak with you, and I welcome you, and I'm so glad you're here, let me remind you, do not take this to heart. People get very upset. I don't know why they do this. They have this sense of, I don't know what it is. This weird, it's like, that's my boyfriend. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Listen to what I'm saying. It's okay that he's doing this. It's okay. It's fine. Well, not really. Oh, no, it's fine. No, he's a genius. Well, he might be a genius, but do you want to hear the truth? No. So this is what I'm dealing with. I get the same thing when I talk to people who are either pro-Palestinian, pro-Gaza, anti-Israel. I'm saying, when you have these demonstrations and you shut down the Brooklyn Bridge and the Golden Gate and all this, I'm telling you, this does, unless you're just trying to make a point, you're killing your cause. You make people hate you. This is not the way to do it. Yes, there's a certain degree of all protests. I'm sure the Edmund Pettus Bridge caused some traffic problems in Selma. I know Bull Connor didn't care about that. Yes. The famous I Have a Dream speech, I'm sure there might have been parking problems. So yes, there is always a degree of attendant inconvenience when large masses of people meet. But when you especially yell death to America, which makes me think this is false flag stuff. Somebody is putting up these agents provocateurs. I wouldn't be, put it this way, if I were Israel, I'd want this to continue. So when I tell friends of mine that, they go berserk because they have this idea. They don't want to hear anything involving reality. I'm going to tell you reality. And when it comes to Donald Trump, I'm going to tell you the truth, because what they're doing to him is a crime. But he should be doing a few things in the meantime. So anyway, get ready, buckle up. This is the truth, baby. This is the truth. Now, please, couple of things. You must make sure that you are still subscribed. I'm getting this all the time, but hey, I found out I wasn't subscribed. If you're not subscribed, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, there is no excuse for you. Dear God, we're doing this. This is so critical. And I'm going to be bringing you recaps every night to let you know this is what you missed. This is what's important. Not every little interstitial moment, but what really matters. Okay. Now, before we begin, let me tell you something. I told you about this great deal last week. Remember I told you from preparewithlionel.com. Well, guess what? There's a new one. $50 you can save on a 4-week emergency food kit. Listen, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this. I want you to go to preparewithlionel.com. You're smart. You're very wise. You don't need somebody to explain to you. I think emergency food might be a good idea to have. You don't need me to convince you of this. That's why you're here, because you're brilliant. This deal is one you've got to go to. So please go to preparewithlionel.com. See for yourself. We're not talking about banana chips and jerky. We're talking about buckets, ammo buckets full that lasts 25 years. You've seen this. You can read it for yourself. You don't need me to tell you this. You're smart. I do it. Everybody I know believes in emergency food. And if you think that you will ever be in a position where you don't have to worry about this, where everything's hunky-dory, oh my God. So you know better. Preparewithlionel.com. Thank you so much, dear friends. Now let's get down to brass tacks. First and foremost, I'm going to ask you to do something, and you must make it a point. You must make it a point to read the actual indictment. You must read the indictment. This will blow your mind. Let me give you an example. Now, I don't want to be too dry, but I'm going to treat you almost like, well, not almost like, actually like co-counsel. And you're going to be, there's the link. I put it right up there. Make sure you get it. Go ahead, click this and read along. This is the, I read this the first time. I thought, you got to be kidding me. 16 pages. It says that basically the grand jury, by this indictment, accuses the defendant of the crime of falsifying business records in the first degree. Keep in mind that. When you talk about Stinky Daniels and this one and that and Cohen and McDougal and Hooks and whether McDougal, whether they had an affair when Melania was pregnant, what the hell does this have to do with anything? Falsifying business records, says the defendant in the county of New York and elsewhere, on or about the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, 2017, 7 years ago, with the intent to defraud and intent to commit another crime. Would you give us an idea of what it was? Any idea? And aid and conceal the commission thereof, made and caused a false entry in the business records of an enterprise, to wit, an invoice from Michael Cohen, dated February the 14th, 2017, marked as a record of the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust and kept and maintained by the Trump Organization. This is it. This is it. Now they have 34 counts of what? Not new charges, counts of the same thing. This is count 2 repeats this. I don't even know what it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is. This one says the entry. They made a false entry in the business records of an enterprise, to wit, an entry in the detail general ledger for the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust, bearing voucher number. Okay, so the second one is the first one was a false entry in the business records. This is an invoice. The second is a false entry in the general ledger. Count 3 is, again, February 14th, same day, an entry in the detail general ledger. Again, it looks just like count 2. Count 4 is, again, this is another check with a different number. It's the same event, the same transactions. It's the same. Let me give you an example of this. Let's assume that Donald Trump is an armed robber and he threatened people, or let's say aggravated battery. He pulled a gun and he went like this. You, get over there. You, 20 people, 20 counts. Every time he pointed a gun, count 1, count 2, count 3, for a separate and distinct act. Go 1, go 2, go 3. I had a client one time, they charged him with like 10 counts of DUI because he kept hitting like a bunch of cars. They go, no, it's one DUI. Accidents are a different story. But imagine this. This is one transaction. This is one event. This Dusty Saddles Chanteuse tramp. You could say it. Skeevy. There's something that is just absolutely despicable about some over-the-hill chanteuse starlet wannabe who's nothing but a hooah. Call it what you want. I know. And by the way, this doesn't say much for him. It doesn't say much for him and his taste. They called her an adult film star. She's a porn star. Now, look, I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't bother anybody, but I have absolutely no respect for anybody who sullies their own, who defiles their own self-image, their own self-respect by doing that. Sorry. McDougal, the other one, she fell in love with him. She's a schmuck. She thinks what? He loved her? She was a Playboy model. And Pecker, in that great name from the National Enquirer, basically bought her story and then killed the story. So Stormy Daniels is hooking up with that slime ball, that jackwagon, Avenatti. You know where he is. I mean, these are the most vile and despicable people. And this is where I want to ask President Trump, what the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? Because here's the part that gets me. All these people, all these witnesses, all these jurors are going to be thinking of as slut. We're going to say, we've forgotten that in all of our trans this and gender this and alternative and non-binary this, nobody respects an adult film star. Let's please. There might have been a time when somebody could have said, hey, Marilyn Chambers, remember her? She was the Ivory Soap. Still, nobody said, oh, that's wonderful. It might have been more kitschy. Linda Lovelace, Deep Throat. That everybody and their mother came to that one. Nobody respects her. This is the thing I'm thinking of. You want to ask the president, what are you doing? Doesn't matter. It's your own personal life. Has nothing to do with this. But don't think for a moment that jury is going to look at her and look at you and think, oh my God. No, and women hate this. And they're trying to get in, and thank God, Mershon, the judge, thank God. They wanted to bring in the fact that she was that with the McDougal thing, that Melania was pregnant at the time, and saying, no. Finally, he's like, what the hell does this have to do with a falsified business charge? Falsifying business? We're talking about what? What are you talking about? Falsifying business records in the first degree. Penal law, section 175.10. That's it. I mean, this Alvin Bragg. Meanwhile, women are getting punched. Illegals are running roughshod. People are afraid to walk on the street. He basically has no bond. He doesn't give a goddamn about crime in this city, but he's going to go after business records? What are you talking about? Oh, and by the way, and I want you to remember something. Did you see what they went through? What was it, 50 today? 50? Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to be a part of some long, I'm sorry, I know you're not supposed to say this. Nobody wants to be a part of some long trial. Nobody wants to be a part of this. It's a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. So when a lot of these people say, I can't possibly be No, I can't be. You mean? Am I? Can I be objective? Is that what you're asking? Yes. Can I get off the jury if I'm not? Yeah. Absolutely. I'm not. Not objective at all. Absolutely not. No way. Can't be objective. No way. Can't do it. Can't do it. No way. Nope. Have no idea about it. No way. Can I get off? Yes. And what do I read? The Breitbart. Will that get me off of here? Fox News. I only listen to Alex Jones. I only listen to Alex Jones. Can I get off? I'll say whatever you want. Get my ass off this thing. Do you think anybody wants to sit there and say, I want to be the one who basically was responsible for having this guy being found guilty of what amounts to a misdemeanor? And don't think for a minute that they're not talking about patching this deal where they say, listen, leave the misdemeanor on it so he gets convicted of a misdemeanor. So what? He's not a convicted felon. It's no big deal. We might even, I don't know if they're going to enter a plea. Who knows where this is going? There's talk about this. What about a no contest plea to one count of misdemeanor business foul? Okay. All right. Be done with it. Be through with it. Now, a couple of things here. He's got what appears to be some adults running the show. Joe Tacopina, he's gone. This was the lawyer from way back. He was in the E. Jean Carroll case, which was a disaster. Alina Haber, get rid of her. She's now doing her Instagram stuff, and she's the official spokesperson. She can go and talk to Hannity and basically tell everybody, am I hot? Am I hot? Yeah, you think I'm hot, right? I'm hot, right? You sure about that? Did you see my Instagram? I went to St. Bart's on my 40th. Huh? Hot, huh? Good. Well, guess what, Alina? Now I know why. Did you see Trump's newest one? Margot Martin or whatever. She's 28. Alina aged out. It's like Greta Thunberg. You notice Greta Thunberg is gone? See ya. See ya. It's one thing when you're kind of young and you can do that weird, how dare you? But when you're like, what is she, 40 years old now? It comes across as creepy. Now, I don't know what Trump's doing. Get her out of here. Why are you having this? And I don't care what anybody says. Do not, and don't read anything. Stop it. People read, they're going to read what happened. I don't care what anybody says. Now, you promise me you're not going to read don't worry, Judge. We're not going to read anything. No way. I've got a phone. You want me to not read about the biggest? Hell no. I want to just see what's happening just for the pictures, not because because I'm in court. What are you going to tell me? Something I don't know? So already let's say you get, 12 angry women. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not talking about elections. I'm talking about real life. And they're going to look at him and go, this son of a bitch. He's doing that with his wife. Where is his wife? Who's that? Well, that's his press, whatever. Say, get her out. This guy won't stop because Trump still loves this idea that, the ladies love me. I give up. I don't know what it is. What did they call her? Oh, she says, listen, I don't know how much she paid for this. This is Daily Mail. Meet Donald Trump's glamorous right-hand woman, Margot Martin, inside the lavish and jet-set life of 28-year-old as she makes a stunning court appearance alongside the ex-president, from her uncanny resemblance to his wife, Melania, to parties at Mar-a-Lago. Do you not learn? Do you not learn? What are you nuts? You're in the fight for your life, and can you just let this go? Do you have to be reminded? These women are only there so they can use this, so they can push this and be a part of a part of their internet or their Instagram world or whatever it is. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people don't understand what's going on here. You're going to get, I don't want anything to possibly do anything to contaminate and to piss that jury off. What are you doing? Why do you do this? Get her out of here. Nobody finds this attractive. Nobody thinks this is a good idea. I don't get it. I don't get it. Sorry. If I run this show, I told you the other day, we're going to practice sitting there. And for the love of God, why are you tweeting? That may help in the Iowa primary. It's not going to help here. Why are you tweeting about this one's a jerk, this one's an idiot, the judge is corrupt, this one's corrupt? What are you doing? And now they're going to end up throwing you in jail. And you may love that. You may think, hey, that's terrific. I don't understand it. Do you know what would be the greatest thing in the world for Donald Trump to say is if he said, I'm not going to tweet about you. Why? You don't deserve it. What? I would make Judge Mershon be the only person I never tweeted about, ever. It wasn't worth my time. It wasn't worth my time. Ladies and gentlemen, shake your booty, says Lionel. I just discovered you a few weeks ago and I'm hooked. The legacy media are so corrupt. Regarding CBS's news' firing of Catherine Herridge because she reported about some of Biden's dirty doings. Absolutely. Catherine Herridge and our good friend Cheryl Atkinson and others, these are heroes. And thank you, Shake Your Booty. That's probably not your real name. I'm just guessing. Okay. Well, nobody's listening to me, but he's doing that. I don't know if they talk about Trump being animated. You've got to understand, this is what he's got to do. This is your election. Those people, if they're going to find you guilty, I don't want to give them a chance because they hate you. I want them to say, this guy wasn't that bad. I got to hand it to you. I sat there. I hated Trump. I didn't vote for him. But you know what? He was very respectful, and because what you're doing is you're disrespecting the jury. You're not telling the court. You're telling the jury, I don't give a damn about you. I know what I'm talking about. And I would go through lessons. I would get Margot Martin to say, good, I want you to do me a favor, Margot. First of all, get out of here. Number two, before this, you're going to videotape him. And we're going to practice hearing bad things. We're going to practice not looking at, not leaning over, not smirking, not laughing. If you laugh about anything that has nothing to do with the trial, they're going to interpret this as you not taking the case seriously, and you're just because they hate you. Let's give them no reason, no tweeting. Give me that phone. No more, nothing on, nothing. Do you understand, my friends? The greatest thing in the world will be, I never tweeted a thing about you, Judge Mershon. You're not worth it. Talk about the election. Talk about Biden. Talk about anything else. Talk about America. Talk about the courtroom. Talk about anybody else. Talk about Jack Smith. Talk about Eugene Kerr. I don't care. Ignore this trial. You're on trial. I want an acquittal. Do you know? Think about this. I don't think there's any chance of it. But if they say, we the jury find the defendant, Donald John Trump, not guilty. Oh my. So the only way to have that happen is to do a very good job in establishing reasonable doubt, to attack the case, but also don't have that jury. And if I can even hang them up, give me one juror, just one. That's it. It's a hung jury. I love it. And we win. And I got to try you again. And nobody won. Nobody wants to try again a case. Nobody. And they'll try to plea negotiate on me. So that's number one. Number two. Jury selection is a lost art. Jury selection is lying. Lying. Jury selection is like going on, I guess, Tinder or something, where people lie, where they're catfished. What are your hobbies? I love walks on the beach, jazz, museums on a rainy day. I used to love this. And a little black dress. What the hell is this? I saw one time, it was an article about cliches that nobody ever, I love. Nobody ever says, what I like to do, I like to drink a lot, sleep late, and lie. Nobody does this. So consequently, you always say, what do I like? Well, I like, no, you know, you don't do that. No, nobody tells the truth. Nobody, do you promise to listen to all the evidence? Yeah. And here's the best part. And nobody's going to let you know this. Juries, believe it or not, honest to God, really will do a good job if you tell them what to do. Juries will actually do a good job. Juries will actually listen to the case. They'll actually listen to the case. If you say, listen to me, what is your, I don't know what the defense is going to be. Not that you didn't do it, but maybe you can, I don't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we ask you to find the defendant, President Donald John Trump, not guilty because what? Because it's not a hidden campaign, because there's nothing wrong with it. We want, and I hope they have a jury instruction that says NDAs are completely legal. When I say hush money, doesn't that sound like it's illegal? Nothing wrong with hush money. Nothing wrong with it. If I said to you, hey, listen, Dave, thanks for having lunch with me. By the way, you don't mind doing something. Right? Here's $100. Don't tell anybody I had lunch with you. Don't post this on your, no. And here's, would you sign this? Yeah. This is an agreement. I'll give you $100. Don't mention we had lunch. Completely legal. Don't mention we had lunch. Don't mention I don't know you. Here's another $200. Don't mention we had sex. Don't mention we this. Don't mention that. Just don't. I can contract with you. Now I can't pay you to obstruct justice, to say the wrong thing, to not cooperate with law enforcement. It's a different story. But there is nothing wrong with it. So they need a jury instruction. And Judge Mershon, that means you can say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as you will hear, there is nothing wrong with this. How many people say, really? There's nothing wrong with an NDA. The question is, what is this for? Now, let me ask you a question. Why do you think this would be the best? President Trump, he's not going to take the stand. Cannot take the stand. But if somehow he could, President Trump, why did you sign this? Well, be honest with you, because I was ashamed of myself. Why? After having fallen for that two-timing skank trollop over there, that's why I was embarrassed. Wouldn't you be embarrassed too? Adult film star? I think we all know what that's synonymous with. Yeah, not my style. And McDougal, not much better. Most of the women I had were kind of, normal people. Sort of, I guess, maybe to an extent. But I didn't want the world to know about this. Yeah, I didn't want my family to know this. I'm sorry. I wasn't proud of this. I'm not. Would you be proud after having hooked up with this thing over here? What are you, nuts? It was the lowest part of my life. I don't drink, but that was rock bottom for me. Maybe I got a problem. I don't know what the hell. Maybe I just have this thing for skeeves. That would be one of the funniest things. Because what's her name thinks she's a star. She really still. Remember when she was on SNL? Oh my God. Meanwhile, if this were Hunter Biden, no problem. Hunter Biden, hookers. Remember the time they had to get the Secret Service had to give him a credit card for the hooker or something? I mean, just that's okay. But all of a sudden, now, changing the subject. One of the issues which I hate, oh my God, I hope they don't do this. And a lot of commentary from what I was reading today indicates they might. There's something called prior bad act. It's either called propensity evidence, prior bad act, similar fact evidence. It's the worst. And the rule is this. I have to put you on trial for this case here. Okay? And I can't bring up other stuff that you did, which is pretty shitty. That's simple. I can't put stuff on which is shitty. I can't say, well, let me tell you something what else he did. He also hooked up with a woman and had her deported and said, wait a minute, excuse me, objection. What does this have to do with this? Similar fact evidence. Yeah, I know it's similar fact evidence, sort of. But what are you trying to do? Are you trying to show that Mr. Trump has a propensity for this? Because if he does, that is clearly verboten. You can't do that. Because what these juries will say, you know what, you might not find him guilty of this, but that son of a bitch did that. You know what? Good enough for me. Let me tell you where this classic similar fact evidence worked out. This is the best. This is the best. Let's say President Trump is on trial for armed robbery. He knocked over a 7-Eleven or a bodega, alleged to, wore a mask, funny mask, said this weird thing. Good evening, buckaroos. Pulled out a Derringer. Had this unique instruction as far as how to deliver the money, 20s on the top. But he had a mask on. Or this guy had a mask. And nobody knew who it was. Well, we found out in the old days that that was his favorite MO in a bunch of other armed robberies that he was never charged with. But people say, yep, that was him. He came in, he wore that same mask. He said the buckaroo thing. He asked for the money. Yep, he did this before. So what you're doing is you're showing a past bad act to show for either modus or MO or intent or identification. What you're doing is I'm going to tell you some things he did in the past, not to show you he's a bad egg and does these things, but to show you that that helps us cinch, in this case, the issue of identification, MO, whatever it is, which is bullshit. Because what you're doing is you're telling me he robbed stores before. Oh yeah, but don't let that. We're not doing that to make you think he's a bad guy. Just to show you when it comes to the issue of what. That's what they did to Harvey Weinstein. Now, people don't like Harvey Weinstein, but that's exactly what they did. They brought up other stuff. I think they might have done it to Michael Jackson. It's the worst. It's the most unconstitutional. Get him on this. Don't talk about something else he did that he was never charged with, because then you can go crazy. They did that with E. Jean Carroll. And by the way, if there is going to be any case whatsoever, any case that could be overturned on appeal, and why this Judge Kaplan went into this, I have no idea. It's this kind of a prior bad act stuff. That's what they're going to try to do here. Now, the good news is his lawyers seem to be very reputable. They're not flashy. He has a woman, I forget her name, interesting pronunciation. Very good. I think she either worked with mobsters or did something. She's got some experience. That's what I like to see. Not these folks who want to just make their Instagram moments, using him as a platform. Barry Taylor says, correct me if I'm wrong, but can he file for a change of venue because of the bias? I think they already tried this. But Barry, let me ask you a question. And this is a great question. Can anybody think of any place in New York State, some other county, maybe you can go way upstate to Sullivan County or Columbia County, Binghamton or something around Niagara, because upstate New York, maybe, then you get into forum shopping. But I don't even think changes of venue really make it. I guess they do. I know in the case of federal courts in Virginia, you can pick certain things, for example, in Florida. Thank God that one particular case with Judge Cannon, I believe. So the idea is, I believe, yes, he can ask for a change of venue. And I would imagine he already has, but the real basis, Barry, for this would be this judge hates him. Why? Well, for one thing, Trump basically said, you're a crook. He brought up his daughter, not because your daughter's ugly or something, but because she worked for a company or an organization that basically promoted Republican platforms and the like. And I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that his wife worked for Tish James. Plus, Mershon says, and I don't know Trump says they won't let him go to his son's graduation. The news report said they may not. If he says, no, you can't go to your son's graduation. And I think there's a lawyer who has another family. Are you kidding me? One day, if they do that, I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the story is. Yes, Staten Island would be wonderful if he could do this. Wonderful if he could do that. Richmond County. But that judge hates him. I mean, hates him. And remember, maybe for good reason. Not that Trump said anything wrong. And I think gag orders are completely unconstitutional. They're also very sad that you even have to have them in the first place. You know, there's one guy they tried to issue a gag order on. His name is Mike Lindell. Didn't work. The other people who didn't like him, they're gone. He's still standing. I think Elton John said it best. Let's talk about our good friend Mike Lindell at mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Well, it's time yet again to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know, a free gift. Gifts are free. Okay, it's a tautology, so sue me. But listen to me and listen carefully. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, MyPillow 2.0 body pillows, waffle blankets, couch and recliner pillows, sheets, slippers, percales. I'm not even done yet. Towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, pet blankets, bolster pillows, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And their monster sellers, slippers, my slippers, slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at MyPillow? What's their main goal? To make things real soft, plush, real comfy, or comfy as I say it. How perfect. So here's the link right now. Go to mypillow.com/Lionel. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel or /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. 800-645-4965. And watch how fast our good friend Mike Lindell answers the phone. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply and absolutely the best. You know, the cases against Trump are absolutely, and this is no exaggeration. Do you know the only case, the only one that makes sense, not because I believe it or not because I think it happened, but we all understand this is E. Jean Carroll when she claims that she was digitally abused by the president in Bergdorf Goodman. Okay. Now, I'm not saying it happened, but I understand it. I can explain it. That's the kind of case I want if I'm going to prosecute. I want something that everybody understands. On this day, the president walked into Bergdorf Goodman and said, wow, let's go. And decided not to say, listen, let's leave and go. No, let's go to because he's so overwhelmed with lust. They went into a dressing room right there where anybody could say, is that Donald Trump? The most, well, if you think he might have been more famous and liked. And okay, fine. That's over with. That thing is moot. She also had some gun problems. You hear about that upstate? That when she talked about a gun and they actually removed it. Why they didn't charge her with something? But that case, at least I understand. This one, you wrote down in the ledger. I don't want to go through that again. It's the worst. It's a misdemeanor. He made 34 counts out of it. How? What do you do? Put it in for each swipe of the pen to write the check? Count one, count two. Nobody can figure this out. And I'm not saying this to be exaggerative. I'm not saying this to sound like I'm, I mean, Nobody understands this. Nobody. We don't get it. We don't know how it works. What are you talking about? So that's that one. How he handles himself, what he says. And did you see Rudy Giuliani's son get into it with, oh my God, did you see this? This is Andrew Giuliani. This is why, Andrew made more damn sense. He made more sense when he was running for governor than you could imagine. He made more sense. And today he got into it with some woman named the Hamas lady or something, or some, yeah, it was called, he got into it with some Hamas. What was she called? Hang on a minute. It was the most ridiculous. Yes, here we go. Trump trial mayhem. Why? Oh, here we go. Rudy Giuliani's son Andrew faces off with Hamas whore. That's the name of this woman, as former president's fans and his biggest critics descend on Manhattan courthouse for Stormy Daniels showdown. It's not a Stormy Daniels showdown. She has nothing really to do with it. I mean, she's there as a, to provide the predicate, like, okay, yes, I received a check from him. Okay. That's not why they want him. They go, Stormy Daniels, hooker, porn star. That's their main way. And Michael Cohen is a liar. Convicted liar. That's my favorite. Normally when there's this thing called impeachment. Impeachment in evidence is different than impeachment in real life. When I say impeachment, you're thinking like a president being impeached. That's not what this is. To impeach the witness means to make the witness look bad. Isn't it true that you were convicted of a crime? How many times? No, normally it's not crimes. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? Normally it works like this. You can ask somebody, have you ever been convicted of a felony? How many times? Have you ever been convicted of a crime involving dishonesty or false statement? Crimen falsi. Yes. Like his case. Perjury. This is terrific. Their main witness is a convicted. This guy? Now, I don't know about you, but I would love to say, let me tell you what this case is about. Out of all, and I would love to say, by the way, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, make sure you're careful out there. New York is not the place to be, thanks to Alvin Bragg, because they apparently don't care about crimes. You can't even get near this. But the irony that all of this, and by the way, all the cops who are paid in overtime and the traffic, and for what? For a misdemeanor that they're stretching 34 counts only because the time has elapsed. And let me remind you, the federal election officials, the Southern District of New York, the feds, they wanted nothing to do with this piece of garbage. Cy Vance, the previous district attorney, wanted nothing to do with it. He doesn't have a problem with this. But they put the word out. Anybody who brings me the scalp of Trump, we will guarantee you will be forever loved. We will elevate you to a position and to a status the likes of which you've never enjoyed or seen in your life. You want whoever it is, there's a bounty on the head. There's a bounty on Trump's head. You got this? Don't kid yourself. There's a bounty on his head. That's how bad it is. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. It is such a disgrace. It is such an absolute disgrace. And how this man does it, how he, I don't know. And don't take this the wrong way, he's weird. this stuff, the expression, he's like a masochist. It's like, what does not destroy me makes me stronger. With him is, what does not destroy me kind of turns me on. I like it. Bring it on. Bring it on. I love it. And his numbers, say what you want, are going up. I think they're going to go up anyway, especially, Mr. President, if you told people a plan. What's happening right now? There's a lot of people who are saying right now, especially, how are you going to make the world safe? Mr. President, a lot of people are very concerned about what's happening in Israel with Iran. Are we going to get into war with Iran? Is this really this eschatology, the end of times? Is there, Mr. President, can you please, can you ensure, can you tell us, will you take care of this? Will you protect us? Please, sir? Would you do this? It's critical that we know this, because I'm telling you, this is the thing which is the most important. That's what this is about. Nobody really cares about this. Nobody cares about it. This is going to affect somebody who might vote for him. They don't care about this because they're so tired of it that even everybody knows. Yeah, I know it's bullshit. I know. Everybody knows it. You should be talking about what we need to do. Mr. President, are you going to align yourself? Do we have money to just give to these places? What happens if does Iran pose a threat? Does Hezbollah, the Houthis? We're worried about this. Annie Jacobson, who does this incredible book, she's all over the world, spreading the good word about her book, Nuclear War. We're talking about nuclear war and more than we've ever done in our life. Have you noticed that? More than we ever have in our life. Do you find that interesting? I find that interesting. I find that extremely interesting. And it would behoove us greatly. It would behoove us tremendously. It would behoove us. It would make us so much more powerful and strong if we understood that the things that Americans really want to hear about when it comes to the election have nothing to do with Stormy Daniels or Michael. Nobody cares about that. What are you going to do? Today is tax day. How do you feel about that, America? You feel happy? Feel like the tax code is fair? Do you feel that your dollar goes about? Do you think there's inflation? This is what people really, how much does it cost to fill up your car? How much? Things are different. Little things are different. Mr. President, that's what you should be addressing. That's what we need. Not this other stuff. Most people are not reading Truth Social, with all due respect, sir. Nobody's reading that. I don't read that stuff. I only read it when somebody refers to it. What are we going to do in terms of crime? What are we going to do? If President Trump stood out there and says, I'm very lucky, I have Secret Service protection, but what I worry about is you, Democrats and Republicans, because you're in a city where I'm from, my hometown. He's actually born in Queens, but it's New York City. And I'm telling you right now, this is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. And the person who was responsible, aside from George Soros, is that man, Alvin Bragg. Don't talk about the case. Just talk about Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg, who has made it a point to let people go. No bond, no bail, no nothing. Let them go to wreak their havoc against you. Do you think that's fair? I worry about it. Be very careful on the subway. A brave Marine is also on trial for his life. They're going after him because he basically stood up and protected New York citizens from a deranged and depraved Michael Jackson impersonator who threatened everybody. He's being prosecuted. Oh, I know the feeling, Mr. Penny. I know the feeling. What is happening to us? What is happening? That's what people want to hear. And don't think, ladies and gentlemen, that that you're safe because you're in Butte, Montana, or Whiskey Bucket, Nebraska. Doesn't work like that, because these things tend to just pivot. And we see people who are affected all over the world. This is what he should be doing about it. And I know, because deep down inside, nobody But nobody wants Joe Biden. Nobody thinks he's able to. When is he going to say, I can't do this anymore? Bring in whoever it is. Don't tell me Carmelita Harris. Don't tell me that. Nobody. The big money people are saying, listen, we this nincompoop. Don't give me this. Well, we need a black. But no, we don't. That's not. No. And if you want somebody black, pick Stacey Abrams. There's loads of people, not her. If you really are a slave to this formulaic, well, we got to have a black. Pretty soon they're going to think we need it. Well, you know what? Why don't you have a trans person? Put your money where your mouth is. How about a trans candidate? Oh, how about Rachel Levine? You know, the one from the whatever the health, she's the admiral. But how about her? She'd be terrific. What do you say? You notice something? They want to change your kid's gender. They don't like anything that's, that's binary. But they sure as hell wouldn't put a transgender anything on the ticket. Never. Because they're just talk. By the way, speaking of black, how do you think that would do against the black community? See, what people don't understand is that the black community and the gay community are conservative. I know you don't believe that. I know you might think, no. Believe me. This is what he could be talking about. And I hope that somebody gets him and says, Mr. President, just once, people want to hear with you. But somebody somewhere who might be wanting to vote for you, because remember, we're looking at right now, I'm sorry to say this, 204 days until the election. Mr. President, we ask you right now the following. Please talk about the election. Nobody cares about Alvin Bragg. I know it's important to you, and I know it is a big deal. Talk about what you can do for us. Talk about how you can make the country better and safer. Please, sir. That's what I want. Be not mistaken. I am 100% behind the only candidate, Donald Trump. The only one. There's no, I will never, ever. I can't imagine. A couple of years ago, I said, well, Democrats, maybe you can get the right person. But no. I found what they're gone. I can never trust them again. So don't make the mistake, dear friends, and think for any minute. Don't think for 1 second that what I'm talking about, that what I'm suggesting is in any way, what's the word? That what I'm saying is in any way half-hearted. For whatever that man has done, whatever his shortcomings, whatever it is, he is the best president in my lifetime. Because what he did, first of all, politically, he's a genius. There weren't any wars then. Everything we were doing great. I think you know the routine. You don't need me to tell you the obvious. You know why? Because you're smart. And stick to your guns, my friends. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that today was day one. It's kind of interesting. I will keep you apprised of what you need to know. Today was kind of prefatory, opening stuff. We'll get into the specifics, the legal weeds, and that sort of thing. And I thank you for this. Let me also tell you, dear friends, to please do me a favor and follow Lynn's Warriors, Mrs. L's channel. Find out there's 2 new videos. One's on Sammy's Law. What is that? Something you need to know about. And also Nicole Brown Simpson. What? She's completely forgotten. Completely forgotten in this scheme of things. We'll talk about that. So follow her. And also subscribe to Lionel Legal. Okay? For the other version of it. All right, dear friends. You have a great and a glorious night. Oh, before I forget, let me just say this. And I want to say this specifically to Shake Your Booty. Thank you so much. And Barry Taylor, thank you for your kindness, your beneficence, your philanthropy, your motivation, your absolute, your graciousness. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And don't forget, my friends, the monkey's dead. The show's over. See ya. Da, da.